The muscular system is found throughout your body, and it's responsible for all different kinds of movement in your body. We're going to talk about 3 different kinds of tissues, muscle tissues, and the different kinds of movement that they produce. The first is skeletal, the second is cardiac or heart, and the third is smooth. All of these muscles are responsible for producing some kind of movement. They're important in maintaining your posture, mainly the skeletal ones, where there are certain muscles that have to contract in order for you to stay standing, even to stay sitting. They're also really important in stabilizing your joints. Where muscles cross the joint between 2 bones, they help to hold those 2 bones together and allow whatever motion that joint has is partly responsible, or muscles are partly responsible for that amount of movement. Muscles also have an interesting almost side effect in that they generate heat whenever the energy is burned to make the muscles contract. Heat is generated as a byproduct, and sometimes muscles will contract just to get that heat. Like that's basically what shivering is. Your muscles are contracting to try to generate the heat to warm your body. Okay, let's start with skeletal muscles. Skeletal muscles are attached to bones, and you can see a general structure in the picture here where a muscle, kind of in red, is attached to the bone that's kind of in, what do you call that, yellow, by a tendon. So the tendon is actually an extension of the connective tissue that's on the outside of the muscle called the epimysium, and it goes down and attaches to the bone. That attachment of a tendon to bone is extremely strong. If you pull a muscle, tear a muscle, you're not going to tear it out of the bone where the tendon is because it's so strong. The cells in skeletal muscle are really interesting in that they're very large because multiple cells fuse together to make what they call a multinucleate cell. That means is enough cells have fused together that you have a bunch of nuclei in one skeletal muscle cell. In fact, they're so big we tend to call them muscle fibers, not cells. So you'll hear us refer to muscle fibers throughout this section. A bunch of fibers are held together by connective tissues, and a bundle of those fibers is called a fascicle. The fascicles are bundled together to make an entire muscle. Skeletal muscles are striated. If you look at a histology section under the microscope, they have bands or stripes, like kind of light and dark stripes. Those are due to the structure of the proteins in the cell. Skeletal muscle is voluntary. What that means is I can think, I want this muscle to contract, and it will contract. I can think, okay, I want to move my little finger, and my little finger moves. Smooth muscle, on the other hand, is found not attached to bones, making voluntary movements, but it's found attached to or around the walls of hollow organs. So there's smooth muscle around the outside of your intestines. There's smooth muscle around your stomach, around your bladder, and that smooth muscle is what allows contraction of those hollow organs. There are no striations in smooth muscle. That's not because they don't have the same proteins, but those proteins are arranged not in such a regular way that you get the striations or the stripes. The cells don't fuse together, so they're a lot smaller and kind of spindle-shaped. There's one nucleus in each cell, and they're involuntary. I can't think, I want to move the food from my stomach into my intestine now, and squeeze your stomach. Cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle is found only in the heart. It has striations, so the proteins are arranged more regularly, kind of like skeletal muscle. But the cells don't usually fuse together. They have a single nucleus. They're joined together, really interestingly though, at this junction called an intercalated disc. And you can see it on histology slides, the intercalated disc not only holds cells together, but it actually has little holes or passageways, kind of tunnels between cells. And the intercalated discs, the holes in them or the tunnels in them, are responsible for when one cell gets excited in a heart, all the rest of the cells can be excited as well. So it kind of works as one unit because of those intercalated discs. It's involuntary. You can't think, ooh, stop beating. I don't want my heart to beat right now. I mean, it's going to beat regardless. This is a really nice section, a slide, that compares what skeletal muscle looks like, what cardiac muscle looks like, and what smooth muscle looks like, and compares the three. I think that's a really important skill to understand the differences between the three types of muscle tissue, what they look like, what they do, where you find them.